Hello again, YouTube, and welcome to another Saturday morning live stream. I am, as always, the fat triathlete, although less fat at the moment. As you may know if you followed the channel, a little over 4 months ago, I set out on a mission to burn off the frankly obscene amount of fat I'd stacked on over the last 4 or 5 years. Oh, thank you very much, S. Norman. Yeah, I set out on a mission to burn off the fat, get myself back into some sort of reasonable shape, with the goal being get back into triathlon, and then ultimately, I think the plan is 2023 leaner and fitter, 2024 racing again, be that, I'm guessing I'm going to target an Olympic, and maybe a middle distance, and then 2025, who knows, get myself another tattoo. So yeah, in a little over 4 months, I have, well, when I started this, sorry, the gears aren't responding on the Watt bike here, and the chat panel's in the way. No, PB's getting out. Right, let's just try. Sort out some technical issues. Let's have a look. There we go. Right. So, got my gears back. But of course, by now, my previous PB is well up the road. So that's that screwed. Let's make it a goal to catch him. We can still PB the climb. So, yeah, so as I was saying before I was so rudely interrupted by technical issues there, the goal, I think, was to get myself back into triathlon, leaner and fitter in 23, racing again in 24 with an Olympic and maybe a middle distance in there somewhere. And then in 2025, get myself somewhere I can earn another tattoo. So, at the beginning of this journey, as I say, about 4.5 months ago, I tipped the scales, I'm not very proud to say, at 141.6 kilos. When I weighed in yesterday morning, I'm now 103. So that certainly feels like some good progress. and certainly the most progress I've made in years. So the next video I'm going to put out is I'm just going to be talking about how you keep the motivation, or how I keep the motivation, because you know, as I've mentioned before, I am the Grand Master of false starts, and I think if I look back, probably one of the biggest reasons for those false starts previously not going anywhere was just a good old-fashioned lack of drive, you know? I think you've got to get a bit of traction with something like this. Oh look, I've taken 20 seconds out of that previous rider. We can have him. Come on. Right. Now, even though I want to catch that previous hologram, I don't want to burn too many matches. What I'd like is a PB on the KOM. So, as you can see from the results panel there, if you've joined me for that, stick around for about 40 minutes and see if I can do it. Right, so I'm just going to try and settle into a rhythm and a sustainable power. Let's see how we go. So yeah, I am very, shall I say, satisfied and encouraged by the progress I've made with the weight loss so far, and also not just the weight loss but the fitness gains. When I started this, my VO2 max was, I think, 32, and this week it's 44, and one day, according to my Garmin 1030, nudged 45. So I'll take that. And of course, one of the biggest impacts on VO2 max is weight. So you would expect that to improve. Oh, wrong way. Press the wrong gear button. I want to go down the box, or down the cassette, not up here. So yeah, one of the biggest factors with weight, with VO2 max, is body weight. So, you know, I was always hoping that that would improve. Oh, look at this. Pulling that boy in. Pulling that hollow rider in. We gave him a 30-second lead. And we're on his wheel. Caught. Oh, it feels like a GCM video. I feel like Andrew Feather. No, I don't. Right. Just going to regulate myself a little bit here. Putting out far too much power this early in the climb. So if you're new to Zwift and you've not been up the big hill in Innsbruck, I would say do it. It's not as interesting as one of the other climbs like the Alpine or even for that matter the Epic KOM. It is just a big hill. But as you can see from the profile map over in the top right, it's a fairly consistent sort of gradient. So if you want a measured workout, it's the hill of choice. Right, doing okay. Keeping it like this. We're in the breakaway. 6-second lead. 15 over the previous on the hill. You can't see these numbers because they're hidden by my butt. So I'll tell you them. My hollow rider for the previous lap. And again, look, if you're new to Zwift, okay, you probably saw that sort of ghost rider in front of me. What Zwift will do is put, I think they call them hollow riders, as in holographic rider, a virtual version of you on the road that shows you your previous PB. They also add in, for good measure, other people's PBs that were close to yours as an incentive. Right now, I'm racing 2 of my own PBs. There's one for the full lap, so the UCI World's short course, and then there's one just for the KOM climb here. Currently, I'm 11-12 seconds up on my time for the complete lap, which I'll take, given that I gave that PB something like a 30-second lead, whilst I faffed around with watt bike settings. And there's a hollow rider following me, which is my previous PB on the climb itself. He's currently 17 seconds behind. So, if you've watched any of my other live streams, you'll probably know I've always struggled to see the chat box. I think I fixed that. I've got it on the big screen. And hopefully, if anyone messages me in chat, I should be able to see it and respond verbally. Don't expect much typing. Okay. I'm tracking the ride today, obviously with Zwift, but also on my new to me Garmin Edge 1030 Plus. What a flipping bike computer! Got it for about something stupid like, good morning, Mike English. I can actually see the chat. Thank you. Yeah, Edge 1030 Plus. I can't imagine me wanting another Garmin head unit after this. I don't know how they can get better. The battery must be plutonium or something. It just never runs out. And it's got some really cool features. Like at the end of the ride, it'll prompt you to input your calories and hydration. He says, checking he's got a bottle on the bike. Right, so we're going for a time today. So normally when I get one of these little flats, I'd normally spin it. Previous PB on the lap is 28 seconds behind. Previous PB on the climb, currently 39 seconds behind. Haven't got a clue what a retro 80s helmet is, but I doubt whether you'll be seeing it on a Zwift avatar of mine anytime soon. I can't imagine it's particularly aero. Now, talking of aero, I had a bit of a revelation a couple of weekends back. No, last weekend in fact. Now I'm at 103 kilos. I'm now well within the weight limit for a set of beautiful American classic carbon 58 deep sections that I've had. Well, I raced Ironman on them. I've had them for years. Stopped riding them when my weight started getting out of control, because they've got a 114 kilo rider weight limit. So yeah, as soon as I hit that, on the way up with the weight, I stopped riding them, and they've been like tugging at my conscience, because one of them ended up in a wheel bag in the loft, the rear one. For some reason, the front has just knocked around my shed, and I don't know, I just kept looking at it thinking that's going to get damaged or something, but it hasn't, because I've always treated it like eggs. Oh, steep bit here. And yeah, so being now well within the weight limit for those wheels, I put them on the Planet X Pro Carbon Evo last weekend, and took it out for a spin. Oh man, I've forgotten how good those wheels were. Excuse me. And I paired them up with, oh good grief, about 4 years ago, my sister-in-law, for a birthday, bought me a pair of Pongo aero socks. And again, there's something that's just sat in my sock drawer. And I was saying to myself, not going to wear them till I can do them justice. Which, of course, at 140 odd kilos, you're not going to. Well, you probably, it'll help somewhere, I don't know where, but so with those, lordy, up the gears, Ian. Never surrender. So yeah, I teamed them up with the deep section wheels. What a revelation. Added, without a word of a lie, something like 3 miles an hour average speed to my Sunday ride. And it's funny, you know, I mean, even at the 103 kilos I'm currently at, I'm heavy by cyclist standards, but I'm kind of, I guess, back within a range where, you know, you look like a cyclist again. You certainly do more than you do at 140 kilos. And I don't know, honestly feels like I'm getting me back. Good Lord, this is hard. Double-edged sword rides like this. Possibility I've seen when I've done these before, at the end, Garmin will go, why don't you've increased your FTP? And so will Zwift. And then all you've done is made your life harder in your next planned workout. But in a good way. So, top tip, if like me, you're using OBS to stream Zwift on a Mac setup, more gear problems. take another one off. Yeah, what I found I can do is tile some windows, although Mac doesn't refer to it as tiling. Mike, yeah, what did you do to lose all that weight? Good question. This for an hour every day at some point, plus 2 times a week I'll add in a weight session, 20 minutes a time, which is what, squats, bit of chest, flat bench, shoulders, just anything I can do with a weights bench and dumbbells. So there's that. At some point during the day, I'll go out for a walk with the dogs. That's between 4 and 5 miles, which can mean getting up at 4:30 or 4 to fit that in around life. And diet, well, just re-educating myself really. No processed food. I've largely cut sugar out of my diet. I will also, I've tried applying the Lou Hollander principle, and if you don't know who Lou Hollander is, 90-year-old still racing Ironman, of only eating real food, so nothing processed, and using MyFitnessPal religiously to track calories. Love that app. If you, like me, have got some weight to lose and you can get your head into using that thing, but you do have to be disciplined with it. Well worth the £5 or whatever they want a month for that app. But I think personally, one of the biggest factors in getting the weight off this time has been completely removing alcohol. So I will treat myself in the evenings to possibly a couple of cans of Guinness Zero, but the 141 kilo me was possibly drinking 8 cans of Old Speckled Hen in an evening. And, you know, with my pragmatist head on, that's got to be the biggest factor, or one of. But also, you know, willpower comes into it. You've got to be driven. And I just keep looking at pictures of myself that I found when I was changing my PCs over, my old racing photos, and saying, that's who I want to be again. Right. Thanks, Mike. Yeah, there is a lot of willpower. And, you know, I was thinking about this. It's, I suppose, what you'd class as discomfort, because you have to, you know, get used to feeling hungry at points in the day and just accept that's you now. But what I find is, first week, man, that's tough. I made all my changes at once, which probably goes against common sense and good advice, but you know, for me, bite the bullet. Another thing I do that my wife in particular disagrees with, I weigh myself every day. Now again, that can be demotivating. Quite literally, there'll be days where, without good reason, I'll be a kilo heavier than I was yesterday. But the thing is, you get a trend line, and you follow the trend line, and as long as the trend line is down, you're doing the right thing. And also, you know, I think my wife's insistence on weekly weigh-ins probably comes from years of going to Slimming World, Weight Watchers, where they almost insist that you only weigh once a week with them. And there's a little bit of me wonders if the reason for that is not because it's good practice, but more because it helps them own your success. You know, you get the good news message on a Tuesday evening, or the bad news message, whereas I, on a daily basis, just get an update and act accordingly. So if I'll, you know, if I've got one of those days where I've weighed in a kilo heavier, I'll just make sure I'm super tight with my calories for that day. I also accept that with my fitness pal, it isn't an exact science. You know, you're reliant on, bear with me, you're reliant on very often that other people have entered the caloric values for that food correctly, and also that, you know, things like your Garmin are tracking your calorie burn. So to that end, I aim to be in an 800 calorie to 1,000 calorie debt on my fitness pal every day, which hopefully accounts for any margin of error and keeps me at that optimum sort of 500 calorie deficit overall. Right, so the numbers hidden by my butt. The lap previous is 53 seconds behind. The KOM climb previous is 102 behind. And we've got two suggested times. One of them's 132 behind. And one is 217 behind. So I'm currently putting out the same watts per kilo as my UCI lap previous. So I'm just going to keep it here. This is why this hill is such a good workout. I guess another thing I'm doing that is going to moderate as soon as I hit 100 kilos. I'm probably overtraining a bit because I just want to get ahead of the game. One thing that people have said to me is, this old gem, you're losing it too fast. And I get it, because often that means you've made unsustainable changes. Well, you know, for me, I don't feel like it. It just, I guess it feels like my new normal, and I love it. And also, you know, let's not forget that it is this has been 4 months of daily grind at some point around the rest of my life. And that's hard. Oh, no sound. How about now? I know the sound does drop out. I'll keep talking. Tell me if it comes back. Any sound now? Testing, testing. Comms check, comms check. It's back. Is it still back? Let's hope so. Oh, God. Here we go again. UCI lap previous, 104 behind. KOM previous. Thank you, Mike. KOM previous, 112 behind. My watts per kilo 2.7. Closest previous 2.5. Come on, Ian. 4 minutes to the top. You got this. Beginning to feel it in a good way. I think, you know, another thing I'd say is that with what I'm doing, it feels really hard until you've done it. And a good example of that, yesterday I was off work, so I had a lovely long walk with the dogs. Then I did an hour on the watt bike, and I'm trying to think what Zwift course I did. It'll come to me. And then, oh yeah, actually I did the I think it was the mountain route in Watopia all the way to the radio tower. Love that ride. Well, I do now. Here we go. Flatten out, get the power in. And then, you know, I've had a little niggle in my back recently, and My legs were sore because I'd been out on Thursday, again when I was off work, and did 60k on the gravel bike, of which probably 30k was trail. So, you know, the legs were a little bit tired, and I'd got a run planned, and I set the treadmill up and I looked at it and I thought, I don't know if I got it in me today. But anyway, I dug deep, got on the treadmill, did it, held a decent pace for half an hour, and then felt fine. All the back niggles are gone, but more importantly, I felt better that I hadn't let it win. That niggle, that voice that says you can't do this. To quote the Iron Man motto, anything is possible. There's the top. God, that feels good. Keep the power on. Should we have this boy? Yeah. Finish strong. I made that about 4 minutes off my previous. Oh. Just a little bit of recovery now. And some fluids. That is also another part of the weight loss strategy. Not this stuff I hear people saying, drink when you feel hungry, but just drink throughout the day. Keep yourself hydrated. You need to keep yourself hydrated to keep your liver hydrated and doing what the liver does, all part of which is burning off fat. Oh, good question, Mike. The Tron bike, months. I'm sorry, there's no easy way around that. I started it off with an Everest I did over the course of a week. I know that's a lightweight because most people Everest in a day, but you know, I didn't even have it in me then. But yeah, so I Everested over a week, and I think you need 50,000 meters of total elevation to get that done. And you know, the soul destroying part of that challenge is when I joined the challenge, I already had enough meters climbed in the bank to have scored a Tron bike. And it don't count those. It counts the meters from the day you join the challenge. So if you want the Tron bike, I'd say get on the challenge as soon as possible. And then what I was doing with Zwift was avoiding flat routes. Now, I joined the challenge at the start of my Everest attempt, which I completed in a week. God, that sounds so lame, doesn't it? But so that gave me, you know, once up Everest. I think the Tron bike is 5 times up Everest. And I think, thank you very much, B-Tink, for the ride on. I think, God, it must have been probably 2 or 3 months. And funnily enough, I actually completed the challenge on the Innsbruck climb here. Just back on one of the bins before some Alpine villas. There's a video actually on my channel with me completing the challenge. But yeah, so I mean, if you're a dedicated Zwifter, you'd probably get it in a month or 2. For a casual, you know, normal person, what normal person, the kind of average Zwifter, you probably want sort of 4-ish months, I reckon. And, you know, my advice would be avoid the flat stuff, obviously, and hit the climbs. Thank you very much, EGMAZLDR. Catchy username. Yeah, stick to the hilly stuff. And as a guy I know who's actually a very accomplished triathlon coach always used to say to me, hills will always make you stronger. So when you come out the back end, not only will you have a Tron bike, but you'll be stronger and fitter. Previous lap, Hollow Rider, 8:54 behind me. He's going to catch up because he's on the descent now. Right, so we've got the little feather up, power up there. There's a couple of places I could use that. Just going to relax for a little bit, because there's a couple of short, sharp KOMs coming up when we get into the town. I've never been to Innsbruck. Is there any advantage to having... Yeah, Mike, there is. It's, I think, widely accepted as the most aero bike on the platform, and it will increase your overall speed. And I've seen that where I'll be with a similarly matched rider putting out similar power values, and I just creep past them. So there's probably 2 things at play there. One, I saved up enough drops to buy that S-Works Aero lid. And 2, I'm on the Tron bike, which is, you know, what they did with the Tron bike was they almost built the dream bike. The one that's fast in a straight line on the flat, climbs well, glows in the dark. So I'd say definitely worth working for. Runner. Give them kudos. This way. Ride on as well. It's not working on my phone. So, UCI lap. Currently putting out previous Putting out 2.4. Right, okay, so my previous lap Hollow Rider, it looks like they've just exited the descent, 5:31 behind. Okay, so if I can get my heart rate about 130, ready for this little push. I've got the feather up, power up available to me, which I think I'll probably use here. Heart rate's going up, I think, because I'm anticipating some work. Forgive me if I don't give you a running commentary as we go up this short, sharp little hill. I keep forgetting where it is. I think it's just around the next corner. Yeah, I've never been to Innsbruck. If anyone has, does it look like this? Okay, UTI lap, 3:46 behind. So, fair to say, that boy is down the descent and coming for me. Oh, the leg cast, leg snapper. They always give them such motivational titles. It's a sharp one. I'm going to try and spin it. Companion app running on my phone, so hopefully I can use that to dump the power up when I need it. Do we go over a bridge here? Yes, we do. Right, over the bridge. Right, here we go. Oh, man. Ah. Whoa. Ah. Oh. Jesus. Okay. Little recovery down to the sprint. Oh man, felt that. Yeah, yeah, man. I saw that. Line 350 watts and somebody, woof. But you know, there the old weight equation comes into it. You know, like if that, I think that could have been like a much lighter rider looking at the avatar. So let's say they're 70 kilos. You know, they got a significant weight advantage on me. And gravity's a bitch, isn't it? I must admit, oh, here we go. I'll join the conversation again after the sprint. Oh, top 5. I'll take that. So yeah, Mike, you know, the 350 watts, if that rider is 80 kilos, you know, they're going to be quicker. Well, as we roll into the finish here, I think it's goal achieved for me today. Well, firstly, I've actually had a conversation because I can see the chat panel. Secondly, I beat my lap previous by, at the moment, 4:59, 5 minutes. I've PB'd both sprints and the big hill KOM. And let's not forget that the lap PB got a 30-second sporting advantage. Mike, thanks for joining the chat there this morning. I'm glad I've finally been able to read what you're saying to me. To anyone else that has watched any of this, thank you very much. And can I wish everybody... Oh, thanks, Mike. If I can, you know, if I can impart knowledge anywhere, that's good. So really appreciate that. Yeah, have a good Saturday. It's shaping up to be, looks like quite a good cycling weekend. Maybe a bit windy. Who knows? I might be back on here tomorrow. We've got a birthday party thing to go to this evening, so that could be a late finish. So I might just get up and jump on Zwift. And there is the beauty of indoor training, folks. So again, Mike, thank you for the conversation. Really enjoyed that. And good questions, actually. Got me thinking. And to everyone else, have a great Saturday, great Sunday. Ride safe, train hard, race easy. No cake. No, there won't. It's just going to be an omelette after this, mate. There's another tip. Protein. Go to work on an egg. They got a bad rap, but if you do the research on the cholesterol, it's not as harmful as many would have you believe. And the nutrients in an egg, man, it's one of nature's little miracles, that much nutrient and protein in a container you can keep in the fridge and turn into something you want to eat quite easily. The cake comes after 100 kilos, Mike. I think I might have a sub 100 celebratory Belgian bun. Right, folks, going offline shortly. Thanks again, Mike, for the conversation, and have a good weekend all.